Hi YouTube. We're gonna do a sketchbook tour. I know it's been like what, 10 months? It's been a long time. And admittedly, this is probably gonna be even longer until it gets uploaded, because I take forever to do these. But again, the saga is officially retired, but I'm trying to catch up with the like current ones that I've been filling out. You know, my college onward. So the last one I had done was the first sketchbook that I had filled since graduating, and then this is just continuation of that, my second post-grad book, I guess. You'll notice this one's actually smaller. I thought maybe since I wasn't in school anymore, I should just keep a smaller book because I, wasn't sitting at desks, tables, etc. all the time, having space for my big sketchbook and also note-taking, so I got a smaller book. Spoiler alert, I hated it. This is, to this day, this is the only like full-time sketchbook of mine that I had that I never finished because I found the size of it so awkward and suffocating. I did recently, my most recent one that I filled was actually a Moleskine like watercolor book that was like really short and long, and I did quite like that one, but I think it's because when you turned it on its side it was super tall, so it still allotted a similar amount of space to that of like the big 9x12 that I usually work in. This was awkward because it was the same proportions of the 9x12 but smaller. I don't know, I covered up the size of it, but 10 by 6, 7, something like that, I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, continuation of my postgraduate sketching endeavors. Yeah. This was April to August. Yeah, I literally wrote here, I couldn't finish this book, it's too small, I hate it. I think, if I remember correctly, the most notable thing about this sketchbook is that I brought it to Anthrocon with me, which, Anthrocon's fun. I've been twice. I will never go again for other painful reasons, but it was fun when I did get to go the first time more so. And so there's a lot of, you'll see, like I got this at Anthrocon, there's a lot of furry paraphernalia in this book. As always, I like to start the book with like a painting on the first page. We have Martin from the Human Centipede, and underneath it was actually supposed to be a pixel painting of I don't remember, and then I realized how much I hated doing that, so I just painted Martin instead, and I think it made for a fun, weird image. And then another painting. I did this one while I was hanging out in like a Discord server. Everyone was really into it, more so than I was, but that's okay. Christopher Paul Whitney. I paint him a lot, as you know. I have not looked at this book in a very long time. My brain was in a weird spot at this point with art. This was like right before I started my weird anime collage paintings, but I was thinking a lot about like transphobic caricatures of trans people, specifically on 4chan. I'm a trans person. I'm allowed to hearken to those aesthetics. But there were these two characters that would always pop up, Gunter and Aiden, and I just thought their dynamic was really funny, and I thought they were really funny to draw. And it never went anywhere, but I thought I fantasized about doing like a painting of it, but I don't think the broader public would receive it very well, so it just kind of stayed in my sketchbook. At this point, I was still being a teaching assistant for my buddy's figure drawing class, so there are still a lot of drawings of people hanging out and doing things, which is nice. I love having an excuse to do that, and I still had that silver streak at the time too. And at one point, as I was trying to figure out how to depict myself with it, I realized something terrible, and I wrote, "On God, I have the Aaron Hansen streak, KMS." Aaron Hansen from Game Grumps, which I thought was kind of funny, but regardless. Doodling and drawing, a lot of these, other than like, a lot of these are invented figures, some of them are from life. This book was so weird. I just did not like the size of it, and I feel like you can feel it. You can feel me. It's like I had handcuffs on or a straitjacket or something. This was at a horror movie panel. I was drawing some of the panel participants, Yeah, so this I was trying to figure out my persona still. I think in the last book I had mentioned having like always identifying as like a possum, which I still do, but I can't draw possums very well, so I decided like if I'm gonna mainstreamify my persona, I might as well actually know how to draw it. So then I had a persona identity crisis, if you will. And I played with a lot of different things, a centipede, a fish. Obviously none of them worked out. This was a little art party I went to with some friends. I did a painting of my buddy while we were there from life, which I thought was kind of fun. Yeah, doing some math for wood cutting to build some stretchers. Neck studies, or neck muscle studies specifically. I had realized at this point, like, I really did not understand how the head was connected to the rest of the body. I still don't quite grasp it, but I feel like having done these, especially this like muscle here, world of a difference. I immediately, something clicked for it with me, and my neck drawings became ever so slightly better. More of the same. I was invited to participate in like a big group critique where I was a resident, which was super fun. So I was drawing a lot of people presenting their like final projects. And here's these two again. Yeah, I don't know. I think they're funny. I might draw them more, but I definitely should not be making a painting of them. This is my middle school Sona. This is what I looked like in middle school. Just like stringy middle part, long hair, and my unibrow. High top Converse. Oh boy. And I think this was... I was playing with a dip pen. Yeah. And I think at this point I was really starting to struggle with drawing. I think I was just getting really frustrated because nothing was really looking too good. And again, it was this gosh darn book size. Like I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but like, God, was this suffocating. Like I can't explain it to you, but like the frustration is palpable. My attempt at some Reanimator fan art. Always wanted to draw like cool, awesome, kawaii, Tumblrified trans boy Herbert West, and I simply can't. I'm not that kind of gay person, I guess, as much as I wish I was. You know, whenever I don't know what to draw, I usually just default to these, and I believe that's what I was attempting here. This is some vent art. Here's some skull studies. I believe this was when I first started teaching a portrait painting class, and I was doing these preemptively prior to prove that I knew how to draw skulls. They look like skulls. They look pretty good. I like the profile on this. I think this is good. I should probably do more skulls, frankly, and then just more people drawings. And then these were the ones from in class. Yes, I recall. Teaching is fun. I'm a big fan of it. Yeah, this was a fun experiment. It was like a watercolor / gouache painting, and then I drew over it with colored pencil, and it made for like a really neat illustrative effect. Oh yes. I don't know if any of you recall, but there was these two beautiful Lolita chords that were released that were inspired by Madoka and Homura, and I was enamored with them. They were so pretty, so I had to draw them with moderate success, I would say. They're not, nothing crazy to write home about, but they were really cute, and I just really wanted to draw them. And then we've got some figure drawings. Now, I think this is when I started teaching it, because at this point that TAing thing had ended because the semester was over. So I think this is when I started teaching, which is really cool. Yeah, so this was me trying to figure out my persona. This we were getting close. I got really attached to the mad scientist idea. And then a friend of mine drew like a really weird one that looked kind of like a Tim Burton drawing in this vein. I latched onto that, but then I gave him antenna, and so he's like part praying mantis, part cat. These are so funny to look at now. His eyes are a lot smaller now. He looks more normal-ish. I don't know if normal is the right word, but like I've streamlined him pretty nicely, and he works for Aperture Science because it's already a fursona how much more annoying can you get about it, you know? This was me trying to harken back to something that I would have drawn when I was like 14, and then just some like fat guy drawings. This one turned into a painting, but it wasn't a very good painting, so I'm not going to show it. More persona, and then figure drawings. Even doing the figure drawings in this stinking book, I was kind of fighting with it. Like, this is just not a good scale to do figure drawings at. I don't know. This was fun. I love this blue, and these are pretty good. This was a 50 minute like graphite drawing. Super proud of this. I don't think it, like, the camera's not doing it justice, but I had a lot of fun just going really crazy with the cross hatching, and it's just really like delicately handled. So yeah, I was pretty proud of that. And then yeah, these are some other my friends' interpretations of my persona. I was toying with the idea of him having 4 arms, which he still does sometimes, but not always, because it's kind of weird to draw. And then this was just me trying to figure out how to time out, like space out the timing for the figure drawing class and the length of the poses and stuff. And then more figures. Being able to teach this class has been a dream come true. I've always wanted to be a figure drawing teacher, and to, like, yeah, I don't know. To get paid to do what you love is such a privilege. I also took this book to Florida with me, and that was a mini golf card. More figure drawing. More figure drawing. This was probably like the worst book that I could have picked for the state at which my life is right now, but that's okay. Being miserable is kind of just part of the game, I think. Being extremely miserable, especially. That's over. This was fun. I wanted to do a painting of the medic from TF2, but I only had this neon pink and this green gouache, but when they mixed together, especially with a little bit of white, they made like a pretty nice gray. So this was a really exciting little like limited palette exercise that I quite enjoyed. Yeah, I love the medic, he's so cool. Figure drawing, always figure drawing. It's what keeps me sane. And some funky little shoe studies. I need to get better at drawing shoes. And then just some paintings. Random guys. I think this was one of my students from when I was doing pre-college stuff. More drawing. Surprise, I know. And then this was when my car completely died on me. And then I lived without a car for about 8 months, I think. That sucked. That sucked so bad. Madoka. I think I was looking at like a photo of a cosplayer or something when I did this one, but I could be misremembering. Also, it's very interesting. I had this pen that's like erasable, and it's interesting to see its like lack of archivability, where it just decides to erase itself at times. So strange. I got one of these Ron John stickers from when I did go to Florida. I will never put this anywhere. It's a relic of when I was happy. And then just some like little sticky note drawings. And then I think this might be the last page. But I wanted to play with collage more. So I have all these old men that are thinking about a cheeseburger, because I thought that was pretty funny. And yeah, that's it. I guess I almost filled it. And then I just have, yeah, some notes. I didn't fill it all the way with notes. But yeah, so that was that book. Very weird book. Made me very sad to look at it, actually, in hindsight, but that's okay. I think the next one will probably make me feel even worse now that I think about it, but that's alright. Yeah, just another sketchbook. I love doing these. Remember to subscribe, smash the like button, hit the bell icon, and I will see you guys next time.